In just a few minutes, the semi-final one jury final of Eurovision 2017 is going to take place. We have now seen all 42 rehearsals, so it's time to go around and name our top 3 of Eurovision 2017. Honey, are you ready? Let's do this! That's right. It is time to reveal our top 3, starting with number 3, Porig.
My number 3 is Armenia. And I think I have a funny feeling that Armenia was my number 3 last year too. But Armenia have got into a groove at Eurovision, I think, where they send avant-garde songs, but they still maintain a bit of the Armenian identity that you instantly know that it's Armenia. Yes. They kind of have this mystique about them, and they have, for the last 2 years at least anyways, they have these strong female performers. Like Artsvik is nearly like an evolution of Iveta. Iveta was kind of this very, not quite sexual, but
sexual,
yeah, performer, whereas Artsvik is kind of embracing her femininity as well, but she's more like a warrior.
Yes.
And then Fly With Me, like Love Wave last year as well, it's not really a song that you listen to for the studio version. It's a song that comes to life on the Eurovision stage when you hear it live.
Yes.
And then the staging. Sacha Jean-Baptiste, she's been in high demand this year. She's done, I think, 4 or 5 stagings. But this is truly her best staging this year.
Definitely.
None of the rest of them come close. You'd nearly think maybe Armenia paid her extra to sabotage the rest. But yeah, the song, the staging, everything about it just screams top 10 at Eurovision. And it is my 3rd favourite. I don't think it will reach that high in reality. But yeah, I don't know, I could go on and on about it, but I think I've said enough.
My number 3 is apt because it has 3 ladies. Oh, Jean! That is the sisters, Lisa, Amy, and Shelly. Honey, look, this is all about the voice. The moment you hear the harmonies live, you're like, how did they do that without auto-tune? They sound better than auto-tune because auto-tune makes things sterile. These 3 ladies convey emotion and power with their voice. They don't need digital enhancement. They got voices, y'all. They also have beauty, choreography. They're in sync, but not in sync the boy band because these ladies are classy. It just flows effortlessly, naturally. Even their simple choreography works because they're so in tune with one another. That's what happens when you share a womb prenatally. They just have a bond. Their genes unite them. So do those voices. So does that beauty. The song improves live. I still don't like the studio version. As you just said, studio versions are not necessarily what you vote on. You vote on a performance, and this performance works because the staging matches the song. The song is pulled into 2017. It does not seem dated. Even the electric guitar part, which I cannot stand, I don't mind it in a live performance because they have visuals going on. This is a class act. I think this is headed to the top 10 for sure. Who knows? If the jury is love them enough, maybe the top 5. I think middle-aged women will vote for this. I think teenagers will vote for this. It is awe-inspiring. Ladies, you slay.
Well, that's very handy because my number 3 is also Eugene from the Netherlands. And I think it was quite clear when we did our very first reaction to it, I got emotional watching it, having really kind of disliked the song. I thought that the song was very average and I thought they were great. And then you see them live and it's like, oh, actually, they're so great, they could make anything sound good. Like they could read like War and Peace to me and sing it out and I would think that was the best thing I'd ever heard. They are just incredible vocalists. They were, in the second rehearsal, they weren't like belting it out fully because why bother? And they still sounded better than so many of the other acts. They deserve to be top 10. They deserve to be pushing the top 5. I don't consider it anywhere near a winner, but the Netherlands, once again, after kind of, they had that really good run, then it kind of faltered a little bit. This should be putting them right back on track again. 100% going to qualify and just really good. Definitely my personal 3rd place.
Oh, yes, sorry. Just moving the mic. I was so touched. It is time to do our number 2.
Well, my number 2 is a song that I had actually given full marks to when I was doing my Wee Wee jury. I'd given it 10 out of 10. And it's not Macedonia. She's fallen completely out of my...
She's dancing alone.
Yes. But it's Italy. And back when I was doing that, I felt it was near on perfection. I still think the song is near on perfection, but the staging isn't quite up there to be my number 1 of the year. I like the colours. Well, I like certain aspects of the colours and the gorillas dancing and stuff. Other aspects like the yin and yang don't work at all when they bounce in. The gorilla, who worked so well in Sanremo, you can't see him on the Eurovision stage, or not during any of the run-throughs we've seen thus far. But saying all that, there's no denying that this is a brilliant pop song. And even though it's in Italian, even though most people won't know the references to all the naked ape and all the philosophical things that Francesco mentions, they're just going to hear a great pop song that it's fun to sing along, it's catchy, the Namaste Ale, like any idiot can grasp that part of the song. And we've seen it before where foreign language songs can do well based on the quality of the song, like Molit Va, for instance. And this song is more than like a cheap throwaway pop song, because like you can just listen to it and hear that the production that's gone into it. And Francesco's such a charming performer. He has so much charisma. Because even though the staging isn't perfect, I still think that this is the winner of Eurovision 2017, but it's not mine.
Yeah, I think it's the winner as well. It's not my personal winner. I think something about the staging here, maybe it's because the Sanremo staging was so good, it almost feels like there's too much going on and the cameramen haven't yet caught up with it, but they could still tweak that. So I'm still confident this will do very well. And I have a feeling we'll have a surprise. Like either his suit will light up or the gorilla will light up. Something will happen to make him stand out.
I think it's like probably like my 5th place, or my 5th or 6th, because it is still really, really good. Like, you cannot deny how good that song and the performance is. The actual, camera work and the staging and the lighting, that does drag it down a little bit. But again, I loved it at first sight, and now I'm 120 performances in of Occidentali's Karma. Am I still going to have that same love? Probably not, but I do. I think... I feel like I could be quite confident in saying that the winner of Eurovision 2017 will not be in English.
Okay, well, on that note, let's have your number 2.
So my number 2 is Armenia's Artsvik. I love Fly With Me. And I thought, I kind of suspected that I was going to fall in love with this before I got here, because that Armenia are going to bring the staging. I do agree that it is Sasha Jean-Baptiste's best work of the year. And, Bulgaria is good, don't get me wrong, but there's just so many bits and so much is always going on with Fly With Me staging. There's the camera shake and then the hand movements.
Yeah.
Artsvik looks like this warrior princess, but also modern and cool and edgy. There's just lots of little things that go so right with this song. I did genuinely, at some point early in the week, or later last week, I thought that this was going to win. I genuinely thought it would win because I thought it's just that good. In full and live, she slays it every time. I've not heard her really go wrong once. Just really, really good. Armenia are kind of like now the standard bearers. Azerbaijan had it for a while.
Yeah.
Handily, Armenia have now taken that over. But, you bring Aram MP3, Iveta Makuchan, Artsvik, we'll skip genealogy, but, that's a force to be reckoned with. Armenia, I suspect, will be top 5.
Fly with me? I will fly with you. Oh wait, I can't because you already took off. This bird is soaring. This is also my number 2. And we didn't actually discuss this before, so this is actually...
We're just handily in sync.
This is hilarious. Everything about this slays. Micro, the fingernails, the eyelashes, the facial expressions, the hands around the face. Macro, the coloring, the stars, not stars, the burst of light, the power, the energy.
The pyro.
The pyro is so effective. What they did is their first rehearsal things went wrong, so they made it better. You couldn't see the bird fully for the whole time when it took flight at the end. This time, they end with the screen going dark, the bird popping out, and then there's like white light. It is stunning. It is a dramatic finish, and it touches on your point. Every single second of this has something special going on, something arresting. So it comes on and you can't look away for 3 minutes. You know, from the time she's swaying to the time she's singing, to the time she's slaying, which is the whole time, you don't want to look away. This is high art. This is pop meets art. It is ethno-glam, ethnic, traditional, and yet so contemporary and so modern. It's a very difficult balance to strike without being cheesy or awkward, but they have managed to do that. And you've got to give Art Civic credit. A lot's going on around her, but you still focus on her. She is owning this. You know, the timid girl from Depia Retisil, she is dead, and she has risen like a phoenix into Art Civic, honey, taking flight. I might have a heart attack if I keep talking, so I'm just going to say this. This may be my favorite entry from Armenia ever, taking into account the stage show. The studio version, let's face it, this is not a studio cut song.
No.
This is not something you're going to listen to on your iPod over and over again.
Yeah.
But it is something that you will watch over and over again, and I have a feeling I will for many years to come. Congratulations, Armenia.
So my number...
Oh, yes! I'm doing a great job this evening. It is time to reveal our number ones. Can we have a drum roll? Ding, Porrig.
My number one, kind of like last year, it wasn't a song that I rated particularly highly beforehand, but like last year's number one, Jamala, this gave me tingles when I saw the stage show for the very first time. And I never thought I would say this, but it's the UK and Lucy Jones.
Wow.
There was just something about it, just... We saw the first performance, and Lucy sang, and she's this is kind of like every song in our selection so far, apart from Italy, that it's not a song you listen to really for the studio version. But when she sings it live, she brings it to new levels. But on that Eurovision stage, she brought it even further, and just the whole stage show, it's so simple yet so intricate at the same time, because the staging essentially is just, the backdrop is just lights, but the moments when the lights come just elevate the song so much. And then she's in this ungodly contraption, but but
Glass shard, honey.
Yeah, but it works because she looks angelic nearly in it. And I don't know, there was just the moment where all the light that's on stage kind of gets sucked into her and her contraption. And then she reaches the final big note, and like the note isn't really noticeable, or the moment isn't really noticeable on the studio version or even in the UK national selection. But then on this stage show, she just kind of explodes into light, and the whole arena lights up, and the bar over the stage and this floor and everything is just covered. It's like nearly a supernova or something exploding, and just her delivery, and like she's minimal backing if any, and the hairs were standing up on my arms. Yeah. They're not right now.
The progress on this has been amazing, from kind of mediocre original draft of a song to a really stellar revamp, which really turned me on. That was the moment I started to turn. And then the staging, which just brings it home. This has been carefully thought out. People might say, oh, it's just stars. No, there's a lot of thought behind this. I love how big they make the arena and the stage look, that sense of awe. And yet Lucy still remains the focus, even when she's a tiny dot on the screen at times. This is stunning. It's not my number one, but this is something the UK should be very, very proud of. I hope this will be the best result the UK's seen in a long time.
Well, as a fully fledged Englishman, I am very proud of it, and I am very proud to say that the United Kingdom is also my number one.
Oh my God, this never happened.
I am flabbergasted. I still can't believe that we're in this kind of situation where not only is it just like us, but everybody seems to be, the UK just shocked everyone. The moment we saw that staging, it was like, oh my God, this is something special. Like we are doing something this year, that we're going for it. And then since then, it's just continued and rolled on. And she is just vocally incredible, I think, at times. The notes and the way she can sustain them perfectly. She's musically theatre trained, obviously, and, has that experience. It shows, but it never comes across as cheesy.
Yeah.
My whole issue originally was that her performance was cheesy at the national final. It was too musical theatre for me. But now they've just filmed everything just right, and I'm just proud, and I'm very, very happy. And it is my number one. I would call it the best song and staging of the year by far and away, and I do think that if everything was right, it should win. But I think the top 10, I'm almost underselling the potential of this song by saying the top 10, but I know we're the UK and I just want us to be top 10, please. So, please, yeah.
It's an interesting point about the national final versus here. I think that she is a performer who needs a big stage because she deserves a big stage and she does better on a big stage. The emotion she conveys maybe comes off cheesy on a small stage, but on the big stage, it's very sincere. In any case, my number one, and I never thought I would say this, a few months ago before we knew all the songs, is Portugal. Salvador Sobral, erasing the errors of Portugal's past at Eurovision and giving us something truly amazing. This is just emotionally gripping from the first note to the last. He is rocking simplicity, and that is a huge contradiction. As other women scream and shout in front of pyro and things explode, he ain't doing that. He's just sitting there. This may be one of the most high-tech stages of all time, but he is going to slay in a low-tech way, an analog way, a song that is classic and yet amazing and contemporary, a song that seems timeless and yet is somehow rooted in today because of the staging. I think this is really, really beautiful. He's got a fragility to his voice and to his presence. When he's singing, he does these motions. He's in his own world. He's not paying attention to anyone else. And it's a sweet, tender quality that really touches you, especially amid all the latex and glitter and confetti that we have going on everywhere else. I just find this very stirring on an emotional level, and the fact that he's been ill takes it to a whole nother level, and I really hope that commentators mention that in their introductions because that will help him get some sympathy votes. But he doesn't need the sympathy vote. He doesn't need it. He's got the talent, but I would like to see him do well, so why not mention it? Let's nourish this. And the semifinal is starting, so we have to go. In any case, that's what we think. What do you think? Who is your favorite? Who is your top three? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Please like the video,
comment, and then subscribe.
And we will see you later. Bye!